And our Easter edition of O'Connor Tonight continues here. We hope you had a joyful Easter yesterday. You betcha he is risen. We continue with Andrew Klavan. He's the host of The Andrew Klavan Show and his great series of thrillers, Cameron Winter series, the third one coming up in October. So catch up now. You can start with Strange Habit of Mind, as you can see right over Andrew's shoulder there. I want to draw your attention to a poll that's recently been done here. I think Wall Street Journal put this one out, about Americans' beliefs in certain core values and principles that not too long ago we held dear. They're comparing the important issues of this country and its founding today and what Americans hold dear compared to 1998. What is that? 25 years ago, right? All right. Is this very important to the standard American person? Community involvement, 98, 70%. Today, 38%, Drew. Having children, 98, 59%. Today, 30%. Money, though, this is interesting. Having money, 1998, it was 31%. Today, it's gone up to 43%. I mean, we're watching the fall of our civilization before our eyes, aren't we?
I actually don't think we are. I think we're watching a very difficult transitional point. The baby boom generation, my generation, is dying. I hope it can go without taking me with it, but I think it's time. It's time for them to let go of controls, but they have not trained the next generation in the values that made us what we are, because the whole thing about the baby boom generation is they were a very spoiled group of kids who didn't realize that all the things they had came from somewhere, and they thought that they were unique in discovering the injustices of the world, and so they passed that on, that sense of criticism and taking things apart. Now they're passing. We've got this dithering, decaying old man as president. If you read history, that's always a moment of great, great difficulty for a civilization. It represents something in a civilization. His greatest opponent is almost as old as he is. It is time for them to go, and it's time for a new generation to come about. But it's going to be a generation that's either going to know that the values that brought us here are the values that will take us on, or it's going to have to learn the hard way. And that's the question. Is it going to have to learn with fire and sword and bloodshed, or will it recall itself in time to reestablish ourselves as a beacon of freedom and a beacon of individuality and a beacon of faith? And if those things, this moment is frightening, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to try and gussy it up or anything like that, but it's not necessarily the end. It's not necessarily the collapse. It is the moment when a generation that has gone on too long changes hands. And if you look through history, this happens from time to time. Pharaohs got too old and didn't train the new generation to take their place, and Egypt would go into a slump. This has been happening since time began, but it is dangerous. It's a dangerous thing, and that's why the people like me, the old folks, and people who are part of the communication network and people who are the clerisy have to start fearlessly banging the drum for the things that got us here. The fact, this is basic Edmund Burke, that if our culture is so awful, if our traditions are so awful, how did we get to the place where we realized they were awful? It doesn't make any sense. If you suddenly realize that the world is unjust, you must have had some training in justice to give you that insight. Our traditions gave us those insights. Our founders gave us those insights. The people who informed our founders, the Aristotles and the Platos and the Shakespeares and the Greek tragedians, they're the ones who informed our founders. All of those things have to be rediscovered. It's not just saying that everybody has to read the great books, though everybody does have to read the great books. It's remembering and standing up for these things and not letting people scare you with their name calling and their cancellations. It really has to begin with each one of us. It has to begin with homeschooling, teaching your kids what the public schools won't teach them. It has to do with people like you, Larry, going on every morning. I mean, I wake up in the morning and you're already talking. I think, man, that guy, I hate that guy. He's already there when I'm just getting out of bed. And I got out of bed early, so you have to be telling this story because it is what brought us here, and it's what sustains us, and it's what will lead us on if we go on.
Well, see, if my kids ever ask me how my work is going or how the job is going, what do you do, Dad? I can always say, listen, I'm Andrew Klavan's morning show. That's all that matters to me. And his evening news show here on Salem News Channel. Andrew Klavan, I'm always smarter after talking with you, so thanks for my lesson today. Great talking.
It's always great talking to you, Larry. I love to see you.
And happy Easter. And now you're a little bit smarter, too. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.